Hey guys, Nintendrew here. E3 has just come to a close, and while many of you still may be poring over footage from the newly revealed Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I had my eye on something a bit more vintage during the show. I'm still away from home, but thought this would be a great opportunity to show you all some of the coolest developments in retro gaming that I was able to check out on the expo floor. So let's take a quick look at some of the new and upcoming retro accessories from E3 2018. First up, I made a stop by the My Arcade booth. These guys are responsible for a lot of handheld clone consoles. You might have seen these in some of my other videos. But they also produce a line of wireless controllers for the NES and Super Nintendo Classic Edition consoles, so those were a strong focus of their setup. They were also showing off some new mini arcade cabinets. Apparently they've licensed a collection of classic titles for standalone systems. But what I was most interested to see were these new cartridge converters. The one on the left is a Famicom to NES adapter, which allows you to plug in a Japanese cartridge and play it on either an original model or top-loader NES. And the other is a Super Famicom converter for US Super Nintendo consoles. This one can actually stay inserted in the console and works as a pass-through for either US or Japanese cartridges. These sort of converters have been available from other companies like HyperCan for a while, but it's nice to see another big name breaking into the retro accessory market. Of course, I couldn't miss the Nintendo booth, and they certainly had a big presence. Much like their main presentation, Nintendo's E3 space also focused mostly on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and they had some really awesome displays showcasing replicas of notable items used by characters in the game's roster. Here is the Monado from Xenoblade, a Hogan's Alley can from Duck Hunt, Kirby's iconic hammer, the Splatter Shot from Splatoon, Fox McCloud's visor and blaster from Star Fox, and of course the Sandbag, which originated from the Home Run contest in Smash Melee. They also had this giant TV display which was running all the new game trailers on loop, so that was really cool to see them go all out for the next generation of Switch titles. Next up, we decided to stop by a booth run by a startup company called Marseille, and they were showing off a new video upscaler called the MCable. I was really excited to check this one out because the MCable claims to be able to take low-resolution game content and use an intelligent algorithm to redraw those pixels at a higher fidelity, almost like a crazy advanced emulator filter. On the left TV is Halo 3 running on an Xbox 360, and then over on the right is the exact same footage run through the new MCable Gaming Edition. Check out how it removes the jagged edges on these pipes in the middle with no blurry edges. Honestly, it almost seems too good to be true. Really cool stuff. I was able to pick up a couple of these cables during the show, so I'll definitely have a full review for you guys at some point. I can't wait to see what they might be able to do for some of my older Nintendo systems. After that, I took a trip over to the booth run by HyperCan, which you'll probably remember is a longtime provider of clone consoles and accessories for the retro gaming community, including the Retron series of systems. They had some really great stuff on display that I cannot wait to get my hands on. First up was the Ultra Boy, a new clone system which runs Game Boy and Game Boy Color carts. It's got a great screen, a sturdy aluminum shell, but most interestingly, the system has stereo RCA jacks and an accessory port for chiptune musicians. And they were also showing off some new Bluetooth Scout and Cadet controllers for Super Nintendo and NES. But what really caught my eye were these special edition Duke controllers for PC and Xbox One. I am a sucker for those transparent plastic colors. I'll definitely have to pick up at least a red one when they launch. They were also showing off the Retron 77, which is an HD revival of the Atari 2600. If you've ever tried to play 2600 games on a modern TV, you probably know it can be a bit of a nightmare to try to get it all hooked up. Very encouraging to see HyperCan making a solution for modern day. I love that all their new systems support 4x3 and 16x9 with a physical switch on the console. Very cool. We also took a look at the Mega Retron, a new Genesis clone system, and can I just say I really appreciate that they're taking the time to design the systems with the original console in mind. This is really a beautiful console and would look right at home in a retro setup. This one also features an NTSC/PAL switch, so you can run either Genesis or Mega Drive cartridges on one system. Really nice touch. With new faithful HD systems like these, HyperCan is really helping to keep the retro gaming community alive. So that was about it for upcoming retro accessories at E3, but to cap off the afternoon, I ran by the National Video Game Museum booth to check out some priceless pieces of video game history, and there were some truly amazing things on display. A couple things which caught my eye were this Max cartridge for Super Nintendo. This is the multi-purpose arcade combat simulator which was developed for the US Army. And this burn-in test cartridge which was used by authorized Nintendo repair centers for testing consoles. They also had sealed repro copies of both Cheetahman and Cheetahman 2, which are notoriously sought-after unlicensed titles for the original NES. And there were even more rarities in the vertical display case on the back of the floor. On the bottom here, they had a couple of color TV game consoles. These were some of the very first game systems Nintendo released back in the late 70s. And just above that, they had a Nintendo World Championships Gray cartridge. This is one of only 90 Gray carts in the world. And of course, they also had this PowerFest 94 10,000 point cartridge. Apparently 33 of these were made, but most of them were sent back to Nintendo for parts. The National Video Game Museum claims that this cartridge is the only one of its kind left. Really amazing to see this stuff in person. Okay guys, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this recap of upcoming retro accessories shown at E3 2018. I will be traveling back home after the Too Many Games convention in Oaks, Pennsylvania this weekend, and once I've returned, I have some really fun new videos planned for you guys, so I hope you'll look forward to that. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Take care! Hey everyone, thanks again for checking out the new video and for making it all the way to the end. As I mentioned, I'll be making an appearance at Too Many Games in Pennsylvania this weekend from June 22nd to the 24th. So if you haven't already, check my pinned comment down below for a link to pick up your tickets. See you then!